President Muhammadu Buhari departs Abuja for South Korea to participate in First World Bio Summit in Seoul. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo receives Lifetime Achievement Award, and Chinese President Xi Jinping wins third term as president. All this and more on Panorama with me, Naja'atu Tijani. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for South Korea to participate in the First World Bio Summit in Seoul. The summit, jointly organized by the Republic of South Korea and the World Health Organization, has as its theme the future of vaccine and biohealth. The president was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by Chief of Staff Professor Ibrahim Gambari, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, Director General DSS Yusuf Magajibichi, and other top government officials. Nigeria will be at the Seoul Summit with 5 other African countries, which were selected by the World Health Organization and the European Union during the last EU-African Summit in Brussels, Belgium. The summit was held in February this year for the mRNA Technology Transfer and Global Training Hub for Biomanufacturing of Vaccines on the African continent. Also expected to feature at the World Bio Summit are CEOs of global vaccine and biologics companies who will share and shape ideas on the future of vaccines and biohealth. The organizers say global health security profoundly depends on innovation and development in the bio industry, and the summit is therefore part of deliberate efforts to launch international stage efforts on the nature of creativity and innovation required to contain any future health pandemic. For what is described as an outstanding impact on lives and career through a life of service as a teacher of over 4 decades, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has been awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award at a ceremony held in Lagos in honor of teachers in Nigeria. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Teachers are always winners, and though it's often said that the reward of a teacher is in heaven, this event, which is the award presentation to winners of the Multina Teacher of the Year competition, sends a strong message that the reward must not only be in heaven, but that teachers must start receiving such awards whilst living, as they are responsible for laying strong foundation for the future of their students and their country.
A word from a teacher to a student can make such a difference in the life of the student. That's the nature and power that teachers have.
Vice President Osinbajo, narrating his personal experience with teachers from primary to university levels, explains how competitions such as debate, writing and reading, and sports give students a sense of direction to choosing the right career in life.
Most committed teachers, their greatest joy and satisfaction comes from seeing their pupils and students do well and become successes in life. What we all ought to be saying to our teachers every day: thank you, thank you, thank you.
Organizers of the Multina Teacher of the Year competition said the Vice President's endorsement of the program was a profound validation of the recognition teachers truly deserve. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In other news, Chinese President Xi Jinping has been elected for a third 5-year term as General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. The 20th Congress of the Communist Party in China concluded on Saturday, where a new committee was inaugurated. Following his election, the Chinese president said the world needs China just as his country cannot develop without the world, adding that after more than 40 years of unflagging efforts towards reform and opening up, China has created two miracles: rapid economic development and long-term social stability. The new committee of the party includes 205 members, with women making up only 5.36% of the total. China's Congress is one of the most important events in China's political life, during which the results of the last 5 years are summed up and the plans for the country's future are drawn up. It is held once every 5 years. And back home in Nigeria, the supporters of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and governorship candidate in Delta State, Ovie Omoagege, have embarked on a 1 million man march in solidarity support for their candidature ahead of the 2023 general election. Tessie Coker reports.
It was a huge crowd of supporters at the oil city of Warri. They are here in their numbers to pledge their support for Tinubu and Omoagege. Like a carnival of sorts, they occupy the major streets in the city. The participants say they are sending a strong message to those who believe the APC has no political structure to win elections in Delta State come 2023.
They have said that there's no APC in Delta State, and you can see the mammoth crowd all over the place because they have seen the antecedent that come 2023 they will display their love for Nigerians by voting Tinubu, and they will display their love for Delta State.
Music in its full blare, the group marched through major streets displaying placards with messages relating to the 2023 general elections. Their destination is the Petroleum Training Institute Center, where the organizers address the crowd.
We are here on our own volition. Nobody convinces us. Once a candidate has been made, in fact, it is the responsibility of anybody to choose any style within the confine of the law to work for him. So this 1 million man march is voluntary activity, and this is just testing the microphone. It's not a borrow crowd. We did not borrow any crowd.
We want a new government. We want a new Delta. We want to build from where the others are stopped.
They are hoping to mobilize more people to come out and vote for APC as Asaba, Delta State capital, is next to host the rally. In Warri, Tessie Coker, NTA News.
Unity schools across the country will get more attention to make them more enviable. The Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Nana Opia, made this known during a tour of federal government colleges in Lagos. Hingino John Adams reports.
A rousing welcome there by students of the Queen's College, Yaba, Lagos, for the August visitor, Minister of State for Education. The reception is a way of saying thank you to the federal government for massive investments in both intellectual assets and infrastructure in Unity schools across the country. At the King's College, Victoria Island, the minister met the boys well, as Africans will say, taking breakfast. In all the colleges visited, it was a father and children moment as the minister interacted with the students, assuring them that they will continue to benefit from more developmental initiatives in order to continue to stand strong and compete favorably in the nation's education system.
I'm impressed with what I saw in the Queen's College. It's very outstanding, but completely above average. The King's College is not lacking either. Went to one of the campuses and almost everything is in place.
Not satisfied with what he saw at the Federal Science and Technical College, Yaba, the minister was emphatic that government will continue to ensure maximum use of facilities provided.
Some of the facilities are not even in use at all. You saw things with me this place has capacity to even generate revenue for the government and to sustain itself.
As the minister continues to tour unity schools across the country, it is expected that more transformation will be seen in the 110 federal government colleges. In Lagos, Hingino, John Adams, NTA News.
Still on education, the federal government, through its social investment program, has inaugurated the At-Risk Children Program, ARCP, in Ondo State to mop out-of-school children off the streets and engage them productively. The special advisor to the president on social investment, Mariam Owais, inaugurated the Ondo State Project Advisory Committee with the wife of the state governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, as chairperson. Abiola Ario reports.
The federal government's At-Risk Children Program, ACP, in collaboration with Ondo State government, seeks support for vulnerable and at-risk children and youths by providing succor for young people below age 24.
It's also important to share skills even for those who don't have skills. It's important, I have found in many places, that what attracts a lot of parents, especially in rural areas, is to combine skills with education.
The primary mandate of any government, apart from security and protection of lives and property of the citizens, it's also for their total well-being.
The project will cover the 18 local government areas of Ondo State.
What remains now is for us to sit down and begin the work. The project directly impact 900 of our own employees and states, but we have 50 local governments.
ACP is an ambitious and strategically designed initiative of the federal government under the office of the Vice President and led by the Special Advisor to the President on Social Investment in Akure. Abiola Ario, NTA News.
This is Panorama on NTA. Stay tuned for more reports after this timeout. The number of recorded deaths in the Gambia following the use of substandard cough and cold syrups produced in India has increased from 66 to 70. Hamman Jabani reports that the government of Nigeria has taken all measures to stop the syrups from entering the market.
Known as the pharmacy of the world, India supplies 40% of all generic medicines to Africa. The death of the 70 children in the Gambia, one of the worst of such incidents involving drugs from India, have come as a blow to the industry. Indian health authorities say they have halted all production and manufacturing activities of maiden pharmaceuticals firm after contraventions were observed during the investigation and its potential risks.
WHO is conducting further investigation with the company and regulatory authorities in India. WHO recommends all countries detect and remove these products from circulation.
In Nigeria, the federal government, through NAFDAC, sent out red alert and all modalities have been put in place to stop the syrup from coming into the market.
Notify healthcare providers and awaken the consciousness of the public on these 4 substandard products identified in the Gambia.
Some Nigerians on the street of Abuja commended the action taken by WHO and the federal government to send out warning on the drugs.
The government of Nigeria and NAFDAC itself should go to India and try to see and make sure that whatever drugs they are producing that was supposed to be shipped into Nigeria, it should be stopped and they should look into it carefully.
In this form, if there's any drugs I need to do, I have to go to the hospital to make sure I meet the right doctor to help me check if this drug is fit for me or my children.
So I think we should be careful with whatever drugs we take. The hospital gives drugs that meet the NAFDAC standard.
As of now, the drugs are all in the Gambia. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Medical experts have reminded caregivers about the importance of vaccinating children from 9 to 59 months of age against measles and other childhood diseases. This was at the Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency Sensitization Program on measles in Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajom reports.
Despite Cross River State being enlisted and awarded Best Immunization State in Nigeria, the Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency says it will not relent in ensuring suspected immunization gaps are bridged.
The child that is not immunized, not vaccinated against measles, does not have protection. Once that child comes in contact with the measles virus, that severe attack will either take the life of the child or leave the child with a disability.
The 8 days integrated measles vaccination campaign is expected to target over 700,000 children in Cross River State. Although there have been pockets of measles infection reported cases in the state a few months ago, the Cross River Primary Healthcare Development Agency says the situation was checked without recording any fatality using its routine reactive campaign strategy, especially in IDP camps.
Embarking on the measles campaign, of course, integrated measles campaign, because not just are we focusing on measles, other services will also be rendered, the routine immunization as well as the COVID vaccination.
Across different parts of the country, you will always have these issues of some parents not wanting their children to get vaccinated.
For the integrated measles vaccination campaign, stakeholders are calling on parents and caregivers to avail their children aged 9 to 59 months for the booster measles vaccination. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
In 2020, Nigeria was certified polio-free by the World Health Organization. And efforts to sustain this status must not regress for the country to achieve a healthier future for mothers and children, the focus of the 2022 World Polio Day. And Rotary International District 9125, as always, is taking the lead in ensuring Nigeria's success story is not marred. Uche Ugochukwu completes the story.
Just 2 doses of polio vaccine at birth would have prevented Nena Alauku from being in this wheelchair. Not deterred by her physical deformity, she lends her voice to ensure no child is again affected by polio virus in Nigeria, as well as advocates for more conducive environment for polio survivors.
We don't have access to health care. Also, education, many of us are graduates, because they think that we are polio survivors, they don't employ. They think that polio affected everything, but polio affected only my leg, but my brain, my mind and brain is working.
The Rotary International District 9125 trooped to the streets of Abuja to spread awareness about the disease ahead of the 2022 World Polio Day, observed 24th October annually.
One polio anywhere in the world is a threat to the whole world. Vaccination does not kill anybody. Vaccination only helps to boost our immunity.
Polio virus is a vaccine-preventable crippling disease that is transmitted through contaminated water, food, or contact with an infected person.
And the symptoms are very non-specific, in the sense that they'll just come down with headache, fever, stomach pain, very non-specific things, diarrhea, sometimes vomiting. 2 to 5 days later, that will wear off. But in very severe cases, few percentage of them will end up with meningitis or paralysis.
Routine immunization and good personal hygiene, experts say, will help Nigeria maintain zero polio cases. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Senior Citizen Center has activated help desks for flood-affected older persons in internally displaced persons camps in the affected states and locations in partnership with the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, development partners, state emergency management agencies, and the NSCC Stakeholders Consultative Forum on Aging. In a statement by Head Corporate Affairs, Media and Communications, Omini Oden, the NSCC Director General Dr. M.M. Omoharo says the decision is necessitated by the high proportion of older casualties in the affected areas and the vulnerability of older women and men in such situations in the affected states of the Federation. In Delta State, where there are already more than 10 camps created, the NSCC help desks are already functional at most camps, including Isoko and Ozuro IDP camps. Some of the services rendered at the NSCC help help desk for the flood-affected older persons are basic health checks, data capture, and collation of older persons who have expressed appreciation to the National Senior Citizen Center for coming to their aid, working in conjunction with NEMA and the state emergency management agencies. Meanwhile, the management of the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission Hyperdeck has reached out to the victims of boat mishap in Bara, a community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. Fatima Usman reports.
On the 13th of this month, a boat transporting 47 passengers on River Kaduna in Bara community, Mokwa local government area of Niger State, capsized, leaving 10 of the victims dead. In response to the disaster, officials of Hyperdeck paid a condolence visit to the people of the community and reassured them of the Commission's commitment to give riverine communities a new lease of life. 200 pieces of life jackets were presented to the community for safety on the waterways and cash donation to survivors of mishap as well as families of the deceased.
My elder brother and my junior brother, they are among the dead, which is very, very painful to me and the rest of the family. We are very, very thankful to the government.
We are now happy to see that we are safe to cross the river now without any fear because we have life jacket, which we don't have before.
I want a political will where they will be able to make law to make sure anybody using our river channels in Niger State here should be used, they must make sure they use the life jacket.
As part of its continued effort in ensuring safety on waterways, Hyperdeck is to continuously distribute safety life jackets to riverine communities. In Mina, I'm Fatima Usman, NTA News.
The Akwa Ibom Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has apprehended some suspects and impounded 3 trucks containing automotive gas oil. Kelvin Samuel reports that the operation was carried out by the anti-vandal unit of the Corps in Eket and Ikodabasi local government areas of Akwa Ibom State.
Parading the suspect and exhibit before newsmen, the Commandant NSCDC Akwa Ibom State Command, Suleiman Mafara, says the command will continue to sustain the intensity in fighting oil thieves and vandals in the region in line with the mandate of the Corps. The Akwa Ibom State NSCDC Commandant is also warning persons who indulge in the illegal deal to stop henceforth and seek legitimate means of livelihood.
We continue to solicit for the cooperation of the general public so that we can justify the competence which the federal government and the entire Nigerians reposes on NSCDC.
The total of 90,000 liters of automotive gas oil, 3 trucks, 6 suspects and other exhibits are presently in the custody of the NSCDC awaiting further investigation and possible prosecution. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update. Sports Update concludes Panorama. Thanks for watching. Remember to keep saying no to rape and rapists.